Get out of your head that there's no such thing as get rich quick. There is. I've seen it happen. I've seen people retire themselves in their first year as a real estate investor. 1 year. That's pretty darn quick. I have never seen anybody get rich over 30 or 40 years. Hello and welcome to the Total Wealth Academy video podcast. I'm your host, Steve Davis, where we are here together working hard to improve our financial IQ because, well, high school and college do nothing to teach us about building wealth. They teach us how to get a job, and that's about it. Quickly today, I want to get 3 points across. There are 3 takeaways I want you to get from this particular podcast. The first one is there's no such thing as get rich slow. No such thing as get rich slow. 2, you've got to give yourself permission to succeed. And then we're going to talk about the snowball effect, why building wealth with real estate gets faster and faster and faster the longer you're at it. But let's start off with no such thing as get rich slow. This one usually raises an eyebrow because from the time we're old enough to walk, people start telling us there's no such thing as get rich quick. There's no such thing as get rich quick. I'm telling you, I've been at this for 35 years mentoring. I've never seen anybody get rich slow. Everybody I've ever seen get rich gets rich quick. Now, quick is 5 to 10 years. Slow is 20, 30 years. Why do I say there's no such thing as get rich slow? The reason is people devalue their life. They don't even bring it into context that if you wait for 30 years to get rich, 30 years of your life is gone. If you started at 30, you're now 60. Who cares if you're rich? You missed out on 30 years of your life and some of the best years of your life. No, there's no such thing as get rich slow because your life is gone and people don't value their lives. I remember sitting with a financial planner when I was 27, and this financial planner said to me, if you save, and I don't know what the number was, $339.62 a month, by the time you're 65, you'll have $1.1 million. I wanted to punch the guy. I don't want to be rich at 65. I want to be rich now. How can you help me get rich now? Well, he was a financial planner, so the answer was he couldn't help me. Financial planners cannot help you get rich. They are not rich themselves, and the average income for a financial planner in the United States is $100,000 a year. They're living paycheck to paycheck, just like 78% of Americans. Financial planners cannot help you get rich. They help you manage your money, and that's it. It's up to you to get rich and give them your money, which I totally disagree with because, like I said, they make $100,000 a year. They don't know what they're doing. So get out of your head that there's no such thing as get rich quick. There is. I've seen it happen. I've seen people retire themselves in their first year as a real estate investor. 1 year. That's pretty darn quick. I have never seen anybody get rich over 30 or 40 years. Never. Why? I haven't lived 30 or 40 years as a mentor to see it. It's just your life is gone. There's no such thing as get rich slow because your life is gone. You want to focus on building wealth quickly and efficiently, and you want to begin when you're young. Which leads to the second takeaway that I want you to get today, which is you've got to give yourself permission to succeed. You do. So many people do not give themselves permission to succeed. Most of you watching this podcast are not giving yourself permission to succeed. Why? You are in jobs or self-employment that can never, ever take you where you want to be financially. You know it. Many of you have done it for 20 years. You're 45 plus years of age. You've literally worked a job for 20 plus years. It's never gotten you in the financial position that you want to be in, but you keep doing it. So many of you have a sole source of income as a job. It hadn't worked. It hasn't gotten you wealthy, but you keep doing it because you just don't know anything else to do. Your financial IQ is so low that you only know one way to make money, and that's to trade time for money, a job, or self-employment. While I've got this on my mind, is there anything wrong with being self-employed? Absolutely not. Self-employment is great. Having a job is great, but you can't get wealthy on a single source of income. I've just never seen it happen, except for extremely high income earners. 500 grand a year at your job. Yeah, you can save 200 grand a year, 300 grand a year. Yeah, over 30 years, you can get yourself pretty wealthy. But there's no guarantee that you're going to make $500,000 a year your entire lifetime. I don't care what degree you've got. I don't care what skill sets you've got. There's going to be ups and downs. You're not going to make 500 grand a year for 40 years straight as a rule. What successful people are doing is they're building a second stream of income. This is giving yourself permission to succeed. In other words, you have to be in a vehicle that has the possibility of taking you where you want to go. I use this analogy all the time. If I go buy the best Ferrari there is, right now it's the Daytona, $3 million. If I go buy a Daytona, Ferrari Daytona, and pull up in front of your house and say, hop in, we're going to drive to England. Drive to England. How many of you would get in the car with me? None of you. You can't drive to England. It's an island. Wrong vehicle. Wrong vehicle. You'd be dead 100 yards out into the ocean. What you've got to do is give yourself permission to succeed by being in a boat or a plane. That's how you get to England. You've got to be in a boat or a plane. Correct vehicle. See, real estate is that vehicle. 9 out of 10 millionaires in the United States used real estate to become so. You need to make sure that you've got some real estate in your portfolio if you want to be successful. You've got to imitate successful people. You've got to give yourself permission to succeed. And the easiest way to do that is with real estate. So takeaway 1, there's no such thing as get rich slow. Takeaway 2, please give yourself permission to succeed. Make sure you're in a vehicle that has the potential to take you where you want to go, and real estate is an effective vehicle to do that. Then the third takeaway I want you to get is the fact that real estate builds wealth faster the longer you go at it. One of the simplest examples is a thing called the snowball effect to real estate investing. And I'm referring to just single family, but this works for big apartments, self-storage, senior living, all the big commercial deals. We do the exact same thing. But let's look at it from a single family point of view. And let's say you're just starting out. You don't have a lot of savings, but you make good money, and you're able to save $1,000 a month. Well, some of you can't, then start with $500. Start with $250, but start. But let's say, for this example, you can start saving $1,000 a month. Well, right now, the average total out of pocket is $15,000 or below on single-family houses. We're using hard money loans that get us into these houses for as little as zero down, but right now the average is $15,000 or below. So if you're saving $1,000 a month, it's going to take you 15 months to buy your first house. 15 months later, you got your $15,000, you go buy your first house. And let's say that that house makes you $500 a month in positive cash flow. That means you now have $1,500 a month to save. Well, now it only takes you 10 months to save up $15,000. The first time it took you 15 months. Now that you got one rent house, it only takes you 10 months. You buy another house at the end of 10 months. You now have $2,000 a month to save towards your next deal. It now only takes you 7.5 months to come up with $15,000. Do you see how it's getting shorter and shorter and shorter? This is the snowball effect of real estate investing. The more you own, the easier it is to build wealth. Getting your first deal is the toughest. It's tough psychologically, it's tough emotionally. There's a lot of fear involved in it. It takes a lot of courage. But once you get the first one, the second one is much easier, the third one is much easier, fourth, and so on. But that's really a different subject than what we're talking about. But be aware, the first one is scary. The first one is hard. Takes you the longest time to get. But once you get your first one, it becomes a domino effect, or we'll stick to the snowball effect. It just starts packing on, and you start to be able to buy real estate faster and faster and faster. You think about it. By the time you buy your fifth house, you're saving $3,500 a month. It now only takes you, what would that be, about 4 months, maybe 5 months to buy your next one? And then it only takes you 4 months. Then it only takes you 3 months. Then it only takes you 2 months. And pretty soon you're buying a house every month. Now that would be a very, very rare case, because once you get to 15 or 20 houses, you're going to want to sell those houses and move over to commercial passive investing. But again, we're talking about beginners, those of you who are just starting out, don't have a lot of savings, don't have an IRA, don't have a 401k, and you need to save from your earned income. Start off with $1,000 a month, saving $1,000 a month. It takes you 15 months to buy your first deal. It only takes you 10 months to buy your next deal, 7.5 months to buy your next deal, then 5 months, then 4 months, then 3 months, then 2 months, and you're building up this second stream of income. And that is the secret. If you look at the statistic, 95% of Americans fail to retire by age 65, 95%. What you got to do is study the 5%, the other 5%. And what you're going to find is what they all do is they build additional streams of income. And by the way, who fires you from that income stream, your second stream of income? Let's say you go out there and you buy yourself over the next 5 years 20 rent houses, and you're making $8,000 a month. $8,000 a month, maybe 10. Who fires you from that job? Nobody. You own it. You control it. That's your piece of America. It's yours. No one can fire you from it. No one can downsize you. No one can give you a pay cut. It's yours. And this makes you, what the 5% all have in common, financially independent. See, what we all need in retirement is income, not a big chunk of savings. We need income because our bills come in every month. You need income to pay those bills every month. Building a second stream of income with real estate is the way to do that. Because let's say that you save up $1 million and you retire. Is that going to be enough in retirement? The answer is no. Why? Because the average woman is going to live 20 years in retirement. $1 million divided by 20, that's only $50,000 a year. $50,000 a year. They are not going to be able to live and survive in retirement 20 years from now, 10 years from now, on $50,000 a year. It just doesn't work. But if you took that $1 million and invested it properly, like we do here at Total Wealth Academy, and you're making $200,000 a year, whether you live 10 years or 20 years in retirement, it doesn't matter. You're making $200,000 a year, plus you never have to touch the $1 million. It's just sitting there in your real estate. So it leaves you a wonderful legacy to pass on to your kids, and by the way, tax-free. So those are the 3 takeaways I want you to get from this short podcast. The first one, again, there's no such thing as get rich slow. You better raise your expectations and figure out how to get rich in the next 5 to 10 years like we do at Total Wealth Academy. The second takeaway is give yourself permission to succeed. Make sure that you're in a vehicle that can take you where you want to go and not sitting in a job, sitting in a self-employment that you know can never, ever take you where you want to go financially. Make sure you give yourself permission to succeed by being in the right vehicle. Real estate is that vehicle. And the third takeaway is remember that the more you invest in real estate, the faster the process goes. The more you invest, the faster the process goes. It's the snowball effect. You can build massive amounts of wealth in a short period of time by investing in real estate, even if you're starting from scratch. You're starting from nothing. Maybe bad credit, no money like I did. It can be done. So, no such thing as get rich slow. Give yourself permission to succeed and realize the snowball effect of real estate investing. All right, this has been the Total Wealth Academy video podcast. If you're interested in learning more, please click the link below and come to our free sample class, and we'll show you how Total Wealth Academy works. Please also subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. Again, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.